We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. This year's not been a very good year for you, man.
No, sir.
You now stand. You also have 2 open aggravated assaults against a public servant. All right.
August 18, 2024, in Harris County, Texas.
This isn't just a heated argument. It's a criminal charge mid-pregnancy. Interfering with a 911 call when someone's trying to get help. That's not love, that's a felony. How would you handle someone doing this to your sister or daughter?
Officers responded to a disturbance in the 19400 block in 45 freeway. Officers came into contact with the complaining witness and learned that the complaining witness's boyfriend interfered with the complaining witness's ability to call 911 during an argument. The complaining witness stated that she and the defendant were arguing about relationship issues, and the complaining witness is 3 months pregnant. The defendant was driving the complaining witness's car during the argument, and at some point they pulled over at the residence. The complaining witness asked the defendant to exit the vehicle before she called 911. The defendant refused to exit the vehicle and grabbed her phone and began to dial 911. Or the CW began to dial 911. That's when the defendant reached over and took the complainant's phone. And while doing so, the defendant disconnected the 911 call. The complainant then grabbed the defendant's phone and dialed 911. The defendant then removed the complainant's car keys from the ignition, threw the complainant's phone and keys away from her, and walked away from the scene prior to the officer's arrival. Upon reviewing the 911 call, the officer could observe the complainant yelling, "Stop!" He could also hear a struggle while the complainant said, "Let me go, Kevin. Oh my God, what is wrong with you?" The phone line stays open for approximately 14 seconds longer. The second call begins with the complainant crying, hyperventilating, and stating that she got into an argument with her boyfriend. The complainant then stated that the defendant put her hands on her when she took his phone to call the police.
What happened with the aggravated assaults? And I guess my other question, any alcohol or dope in this one here?
There's no allegations in this current case. And
Okay.
the aggravated assaults, they're still pending, Your Honor.
Sure. How bad? Are we talking, did he shoot someone, point a gun?
I can briefly tell you, Your Honor.
Yeah. You're representing him upstairs?
Yes.
Great.
And it was basically 2 officers that were directing traffic off duty. He didn't see them as he lives near a mosque, and there was all this traffic, and he laid on the horn, and then the guy like grabbed the door to open it, and then he drove on it. And then, so one guy's claims his hand was hurt, and then another officer stepped in front of him, and he said he bumped
Hit
his
the
leg,
officer.
what he claims. But
And he,
Aggravated assault on traffic cops. That's next level disregard. You don't get to play fast and furious just because you're near a mosque and running late. Officers say he hit one. That's a felony with handcuffs written all over it.
how, injuries?
No.
Mr. Geenan, I'm going to find, Mr. Geenan, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now setting your bond at 5,000. So what about the relationship now?
or not
You know,
breaking up.
at the end of the day, you need to distance yourself from anyone and everyone in your life that could potentially put you in jail. Because just listen, you know, if it's the type of relationship that you're constantly butting heads like 2 billy goats, it's probably best to get away. Especially being that she's pregnant, she's hormonal, she's going to be moody, you know, she needs help, her feet swell, you know, and at times will be extremely stressful. If you're the type of person that loses it and just can't, then don't. Because you're the one that's going to end up in custody. Your bonds are $70,000 now. You violate these conditions, you're going to end up with a $500,000 bond.
I will say he's in counseling, Your Honor. We're gonna make some changes.
I think that's a great thing. If you truly are, the idea is, and I'll tell you that I would say 90% of the jail population in custody now are there because they have no self-control. They just wig out, flip out, and do whatever without thinking of consequence. And that's why they're in. Do you have any clue what they would do to you in prison? Take a guess. You'll be someone's bitch real quick. Really. It's not fun. And I'm telling you, I've read stuff that turned me white. It was as bad. It had me in damn near tears because it's so bad.
Yes, sir.
In prison. And you? Mm-mm. So, state, as far as contact with the complaining witness? What do you guys, have you been able to rip? Do we know that she wants to have contact? I want to honor her until I know that she wants to have contact with him. I'm going to order no contact because I don't know what she wants and I want to honor her wishes. I want you to know that I am entering in what's called a protective order, if there's not one in now. Let me see. This is a protective order that identifies, is it Evadne? Is that right? Evadne DeCruz as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. This, if you violate this, they will file an additional charge against you. So be very careful. I want to know what she wants. So if you guys can get the phone number to them and they can get the rip done, then we can modify these conditions today, and I'm happy to do it. Just
Understood.
as it stands now, the only way we're going to release him is you have a bonding company here now.
Yes, they're on their way.
Okay, so you're gonna stay with us until we know that a bonding company comes, and then we'll have you sign conditions. Okay, I'm ordering you now. Don't consume alcohol or drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you use any kind of alcohol or dope, I'm going to put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds from us. Do you understand?
Sir.
Okay, guys.
Is it okay if you sit in?
Yes, we'll have him sit in the jury box now. And then just, if you can get,
I will.
yeah, I know, I got you. Thanks.
Thank you, Judge.
William Michael Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing 6 months in jail. Sorry, is it Class A? You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On September 12th, 2024, officer was traveling westbound on the South Sam Houston Parkway, a public roadway in Harris County, Texas, when the officer observed a stopped car in the third moving lane of traffic with its lights off. The officer found the driver to be asleep in the driver's seat and made contact with the driver, waking him up with his flashlight. The officer observed him to be confused, unable to unlock his door, and upon opening the door, the officer observed glassy eyes, slurred speech, and the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the defendant's person. The defendant admitted to coming from a party where he had been drinking. The officer detained the defendant and relocated the scene to a nearby parking lot for scene safety. Defendant consented.
Breathalyzer reading of 0.168 while already out on bond for another DWI. That's not just reckless. That's daring the court to lock you up. And Judge Fleischer, she doesn't hand out second chances. For free.
To standard field sobriety test, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 8 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. Defendant was read the DIC and consented to breath. The defendant blew a 0.167 and a 0.168. Defendant found to be on bond for DWI out of Fort Bend County from 2024.
What? He's on bond right now for another DWI?
Yes, Your
Oh,
Honor.
hell no.
Your Honor, it looks like it may have been disposed. I'll check.
Please.
There's no disposition known in the NCSC, so I don't know. It's just open. I can see if I can find out.
Is your DWI currently open in Montgomery County
Or in Fort Bend County.
or Fort Bend County?
Yes.
They gave you a PR bond in this case. I'm taking away your PR bond, sir. I'm taking you into custody now. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm taking away your privilege to drive and I'm giving you a curfew so you're not out in the middle of the night, and I'm going to put an ankle monitor on you. If I find that you're out in the middle of the night or you consume alcohol, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you either get in a car and drive or consume alcohol. I will have a hearing. If they prove it to me, I will slap you with 180 days. And if you continue to consume alcohol, I will put you in a rehab facility. If I find that you drive a car, then I'll put you in jail for up to 6 months every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't send him down, please, because I'm going to need him to sign a whole host of conditions. We were talking about you, so it's only fair that you hear what's going on. You know, it seems that you had a pretty sweetheart deal, it looks like, in Fort Bend, and now all that has gone through the tubes. I've known him for a long time. I've known him for at least 20 years. Great working relationship, and I love the way he works. And he's asking me to either give you a PR bond or a low bond. And I'm thinking to myself, why would I do that? Because you do whatever you're going to do and you don't care what anybody else says. Why would we bend over backwards to help someone like that? Why? Just because you're sorry? Actions speak louder than words. You telling me sorry, you telling me I'm never going to do this again. We heard that before. And where we are now. Tell me what you would like.
Judge, I'd like you to consider a $500 surety bond. He's already on $6,000 in misdemeanor bonds and complying with those conditions. I'm not saying he was complying, but I'm saying now he's going forward complying with conditions. And he can only operate now a vehicle with an interlock device, and your condition right now says no driving. I'd like to address that, but on the amount of bond, if you would consider, he makes $300 a week. He works for his dad. They do